In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to implement checkbox controls in Android. We will see how to add the checkbox controls on an Android activity, and also we are going to see how we can handle click events of the checkboxes. And therefore, in this project, we are going to see that when we click on a checkbox, then we will be able to change the color of the layout. And therefore, there are two ways we can add the checkboxes on an Android activity, and one way is by drag and drop, and this is the easiest. And I will find myself mostly adding controls using the drag and drop, but whenever I want to make changes to these controls, I will switch to the XML editor by clicking on the text tab here at the bottom. Here also you can add other control by just copying and pasting the code. And therefore, as you can see, I've got a linear layout, and my layout has got an ID or a name called activity layout, and the orientation is vertical. That's why the checkboxes, they appear one after another in that priority of order. And I will change the name of this checkbox, maybe to check green, because it's going to display green button when it is clicked, or it is going to change the color of the layout to green when it is clicked. And we are also going to say check maybe yellow. And as you can see here, the checkboxes, the text is checkbox and checkbox. That's not the best way to code text of a control by hard coding it. What Android advises is that we set the values of the text here on the strings.xml file on the res folder inside the values folder. And therefore, I will include a string, and here we'll say string yellow, and I'll give it a value of yellow string, and I will say str string green, and I'll give it a value of green. And I will come back to the XML editor for my controls, and I will change the text here to reference my strings.xml, and I will say str green, and at a string str yellow. And as you can see here on the preview, we have got green and yellow values, and it has changed appropriately. And therefore, after I have done that, I will now come to my main activity.java file, and here I will create variables for the checkboxes. Then I will say checkbox green, and I will also say checkbox, and I will say CB yellow. Another way to declare the variables, I can just copy the CB yellow, and I have just cut, then I will paste. So that's multiple declaration of the variables. And for the linear layout as well, then I will say layout. Then I will come inside the onCreate function, and I will reference the checkboxes CB green using the find view by ID r.id dot check green Then there is the CB yellow equals find view by ID r.id dot check yellow. And lastly, the layout. Then I will say find view by ID r.id dot activity layout, and that's the ID of the layout. And now I'm going to code the click event, and I will say CB green dot set on click listener. Then I will say new view dot on click listener, and here is the click event handler inside the on click function. And I will change the color of the layout here, but before I do that, I will also say CB yellow dot set on click listener. Then I will say new view dot on click listener, and these two functions or methods, they are going to handle the click events for the checkboxes. And therefore I will say layout dot set background color. Then I will provide a color, and I will say color dot green, because that's the green checkbox. And then in case the yellow checkbox is checked, then I will have to uncheck it. Then I will say CB yellow dot is set checked. Then I will say false. And therefore I'll come down here, also I'll say layout dot set background color, and I will use the color constants dot yellow. And if the green checkbox is checked, then I will uncheck it by say CB green dot set checked. Then I will say false. And as far as we are concerned, that's how we implement the checkbox controls in Android. I will give a last check on my code. Strings, everything looks fine, and therefore I will now run my application. So here, when I click on the green checkbox, you can see the layout changes to green, and when I click on the yellow checkbox, the layout changes to yellow and also unchecks the green checkbox. So green or yellow, and that's how we implement checkboxes in Android. Thank you.